Welcome to Ricky's First Rewrites, where we'll be taking an existing property, setting it on fire, and doing it again. Well, you are all super smart people, so I'm sure you're saying, Rick, why? Yeah, the first one was good, the second one was very good, and then it went away somewhere. So this video will discuss plans to rewrite Sam Raimi's Spider-Man franchise. Watching the new Spider-Man movie got me thinking about how to set up a Spider-Man franchise. It should be very easy. Problem is there's too many villains. You cannot make them overpowered. Spider-Man has strength, speed, intellect, web, etc. Shocker has power gloves and would not win one-on-one. It wouldn't be believable without knocking the credibility of the Spider-Man character. There are several ways to do this, but the thing that's getting old is kidnap the loved one routine. Another thing that gets overused is just too many villains. And the worst idea, 3 villains with one flipping to even the score with a kidnapped loved one thrown in for good measure. It's a comic story. 3 posters say, the greatest battle lies within. Interesting thought, since he had to battle his relationship, schoolwork, job, Eddie, Venom, Green Goblin, Sandman. Might as well have an internal struggle thrown in, I guess. Spider-Man is the hero. Make it fun instead of overly dramatic. Stakes don't need to be too high. So here's how I would do the franchise. First of all, and most importantly, Green Goblin is not in every villain story. So we will not be doing it that way. Backstory and overhumanization of villains, it takes away from the big triumph for me. Dialing back the origin stories, there's just too much to cover, so everyone will not be featured in everyone's stories. Another thing I need to clear up before everyone gets all, Marvel is using Spider-Man, so I know. I freaking know. Okay? Is Sam Raimi doing Homecoming movies? No. Shut up. The first step is an outline. Trilogies are overdone. People want to look forward to something so they can invest. Consistent reboots are murdered plans. One start, plow through the movies, set the stage. Marvel does this in amazing fashion. There's no reason why we can't get 10 movies out of this if we're going to play the long game. Keep it kid-friendly, hit all audiences, throw in some comic-accurate stuff and make fans interested. As I think about the model for the Spider Universe, it can't be as much Marvel as the heroes just aren't there. It will be more of an X-Men layout, 3 or 4 protagonists, combo, creating our base. So let's base. Number 1 is Spider-Man. Obviously, this is the base of the universe, an introduction platform, and not a co-starring movie. Ever. It can't be. It can't get clouded and mixed up with what you want to get done. Introduce the protagonists. I am thinking 6 Spider-Man movies to get the job done. Next, obviously, number 2, Venom. This has to be done. People want it. I already know exactly what I want, and I will not be wasting time getting into it. 1 spin-off with future plans for a set expansion. Now to get more difficult. Number 3 is Black Cat. Why not? She's cool and interesting. Should do it. 1 standalone. I hope the idea ends up in something worth continuing. So, number 4. At 8 movies, I want 2 more. Thinking of some of the more interesting characters in the movies, I want to go Spider-Gwen. The movie will be an unrelated alternate version of Spider-Man separated from the film universe with the same Gwen from the continuity as well as the same Peter. I'll get into that when we get to that movie. And finally, for the 10th film, I want Spider-Woman. But I'm pretty sure she's owned by Marvel in the films, so I can't answer who has what. Spider-Man 2099. It's futuristic, gritty. Spider-Man will be a neat change of pace from the Big 6. More in line with the Venom movie. So, here are the heroes in movies. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and then we'll go with Black Cat. It's a little early for where I want Venom. Spider-Man 3, this is the Venom setup. Spider-Man 2099, gritty time. Spider-Man 4, and then Venom, good time for it. Spider-Man 5, Spider-Man 6 to close out, and finally Spider-Gwen, the alternate universe story. So that's the map I like. Allows for multiple filming and sets up the stories nicely. So the villains, of course. There are so many. Let's list the good ones and assign the films. I, for the most part, like a boss, sub-boss, not boss stories. Let's divide mains and subs. I want a big finale, so I want the Sinister Six. So they don't need to be on the list, and they won't need to be introduced as bosses. My favorite rendition of the Sinister Six is going to be Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Electro, Kraven, Sandman, and Mysterio. So who tie into a story to make a movie? Some happen already by given the format. Carnage will be a movie for Venom, and we will discuss in that video. Let's pull the villains that will be for the other spin-offs. Lizard for Spider-Gwen, Vulture 2099 for the 2099 movie. The tough one is Black Cat. I want to give her Doc Ock, but you can't. In the Sam Raimi universe, we're dealing with Doc Ock in Part 2, so I don't want her battle to interrupt our Sinister Six story, so let's go with the multi-boss, go with two dum-dums, and two people she isn't going to overpower, but she will fight a criminal team of Rhino and Scorpion. So hopefully we can craft a story that, since one doesn't really exist, to do a movie based off of. So that leaves Doc Ock, Electro, Green Goblin, one time, Venom, the villain story, Mysterio, Kraven, Morbius, Chameleon, Sandman, Shocker, Hammerhead, Hydra Man, and Hobgoblin. And we have 6 movies to do them. I do not want to introduce each character's friggin' origin story, so how about DVD, backstory, documentary style universe inclusions? I don't know. Just to end the suspense, Spider-Man 6 is going to be the Sinister Six. They don't all need to be introduced in other movies, except for probably the leader, Dr. Octopus. Venom is a lock for the 3rd film. That was the best Raimi idea. So that leaves 1, 2, 4, and 5. Unfortunately, I think it feels right the way it was done, but a little poor on the continuation front. It's too much Goblin is really my whole reason for this. So I think 1, 2, and 3 are going to look familiar from a character standpoint because, well, we're reworking Raimi. So number 1 will not be an origin story. It should establish the character as a hero. His first love interest is Gwen Stacy, and she will not be the feature in the film. Just appear with her dad as the nose. So this is merely a superhero movie. As horrible as it sounds, we need to start with the freaking Green Goblin. Norman needs to be established, and we have other places to go. So it makes sense. It sucks that 4 out of 6 Spider-Man movies were Green Goblin, but it's a necessary evil right now. May need to throw in a sub-boss filler since there is no origin to spice up the action, and I have an idea. So number 2, the time to bring in Doc Ock and the story, the Gwen story. Number 4, following the Venom movie and the Spider-Man 2099 Darkness, the Mary Jane love interest is kicking in. And what villain loves the theater? Mysterio. So Mysterio would crush this movie in the timing for a special effects twist in the story, leaving not a lot of choices at this point. So number 5, thinking Kraven. We'll do one kidnap story. This will be the official kidnap story of Mary Jane, and there you go. So we have laid out 10 Spider-Man movies. I'm writing, I'm cutting, I'm recording, so please let me know if I should continue with my Spider-Man series by commenting, liking, sharing, and or subscribing. Find me on Facebook. The music is provided by Connor Stone at ConnorStoneMusic.com and on Facebook. I'm Ricky from Ricky's Rees, and read a freaking comic, nerd.